Hello there, it's Justin. It's been a while since I've posted a video here. Apologies for that. And I thought I would explain why that is and what's been going on in my life and what my plans are for the future. For this channel, for my live streams, for my creative work in general. This feels, on one hand, somewhat overdue, since I haven't really posted here in a while. And on the other hand, it feels almost too early for reasons that I'll discuss a little later into this. But maybe that means it's actually the perfect point in the middle of those two. So let's start with what's been happening with me. Many of you, but certainly not all of you, will know that last year I became a father. And our little one is 8 months old now, which is really, really wild. I've been asked a few times, what's it like being a father? And that is such a strange and difficult question for me to answer. The first 3 months were really just like survival for myself and for Elizabeth, and making sure our little human survives, and just really in the thick of figuring it out and trying to understand what's going on. The last few months, things have changed a lot. We really have seen her, developing personality, physicality. She can sit up on her own. She's not quite crawling, but she's got a good scoot. She can move across the room, faster than what you expect, but with a bit of effort, and sometimes kind of falls flat on her face and doesn't like that. Like the sounds that she makes as she's exploring, playing with her voice, exploring her capabilities, exploring the world around her. All of those elements are really amazing and wonderful experiences. Just seeing her develop and trying to aid in development and interacting with her, like the feeling of her, like coming into the room and her like smiling at me, like that's a good feeling when that happens for any of us, when someone's just really excited that you're there. So it's that those elements are really wild and great and amazing, and yeah, just really unreal. At the same time, it's also really, really hard. On days when I am the caregiver, my wife and I alternate days where when one of us is working, the other person is the caregiver. On days when I'm the caregiver, it's so exhausting. It's so much more exhausting than like any job, like any work I've had. Physically, emotionally, and now that she can move, it requires a lot more vigilance to constantly be aware of where she is, what she has, where she's going. Yeah, it's a lot. So anyway, it's all of those things. I haven't found a way to summarize all of that in a really concise statement yet, except just to say it's everything. It's amazing, it's hard, it's exhausting, it's beautiful, it's so many seemingly contradictory feelings. So, as you might guess, given all of that, the time and energy involved in being a parent has definitely impacted my work, particularly my creative work. Not only the time and energy, but even on my work days like today, my wife and Z they're typically home, and our house is ancient and it's not soundproofed at all, which, as you might expect, makes it difficult to record very quiet ASMR videos. Began recording this while Z was taking a nap, but I can hear they're up and about. So I'm just gonna handle this as best I can today. But in the past, I could record. When it was just me at home, my wife was at work, and that time of being alone that way just doesn't exist anymore. That time is no longer here. I thought, maybe I could live stream and record at night once everyone's kind of going to sleep, and that also didn't work out for a few reasons. Every parent I know faces some particular struggle, whether it's illness or nursing and feeding, colic, whatever it is. Our issue happens to be sleep. In the last 8 months, I've gotten about 1 week of sleeping through the night fully. So nighttime is a very sacred time to try and get as much rest as possible before the next wake up that comes in a couple hours. So this is primarily why I haven't recorded videos in a while. It's also the reason I've been live streaming less, haven't put out any new music, so on and so forth, all the things that people might expect of me based on what I've been doing the last few years of this work. So one may wonder, if I haven't been making videos and live streaming as much and whatnot, what have I been doing? Well, mostly I've been exploring and experimenting and trying to learn, what does it mean, what does it look like to be an artist, to do this kind of work, given the new constraints and the lifestyle that I now have. So here's what I've been working on. One of those areas has been live performance, actually getting out of the house and the home studio that is the roughly 10 square feet area of my desk that I spend so much time in, and doing live events. I've done some music events during yoga sessions, as well as my electronic sound baths that I've been really focusing on a lot lately. So that's one component of what I've been working on. Another component is visual art. I haven't shared too much of this publicly at this point, a little bit, but I will be sharing more soon. Actually, on and off for several years, I've been experimenting with generative digital art. Some of my very first videos on this channel, actually, way back before I even did ASMR, were experiments with generative visual art as well as generative music, and really the music sort of controlling these visual elements. Those early videos aren't very good, so I don't recommend going back and looking at them, but they're there as proof anyway. I've posted some of my visual art experiments over on Instagram, which, by the way, is really the only social platform that I use right now outside of YouTube, Twitch, and Discord. Over the next couple months, I'll be posting more of that, and eventually that's leading up to releasing a project that I've spent a lot of time working on, releasing that this summer. That's all I'll say about that, but I'm excited about what I've created, and I'm excited about sharing it with you and sharing more about it. I've also been writing a lot more. Some of you will know that I have a newsletter that comes out every Monday. It's called the Quiet Mind Newsletter. Each week is a brief, keyword is brief, discussion of a topic ranging from anything to do with well-being, creativity, productivity, rest. Productivity, by the way, in kind of maybe a different approach to productivity that's actually more aligned with rest. I also let people know what I'm doing, when my upcoming live streams or videos are, if there are any, as well as any live performances that I'm doing. I also have a recommendation section that's part of that newsletter, where I just give a recommendation of a book I've read, or music I've been enjoying recently, or a piece of content that a friend has made that I really enjoy, ASMR recordings that are really impactful, things that I enjoy. And I think if you like what I do, you might like this as well, is kind of my approach to it. And speaking of that, before I let you know what my plans are for this YouTube channel going forward, I am coming to that, I do want to talk a little bit about my website and my membership, because that is going to play a significant part in what is coming down the road. So first off, what is the Quiet Mind? Well, the not very interesting part of that answer is that about a year ago, my website, where I just posted my information and my merch store and my membership, was justinrobinsonmusic.com, which is not only a very boring name, but it failed to encapsulate what I do with ASMR and what I do with my video and live stream work. So I wanted something that was mostly that sounded more interesting, and I came up with the Quiet Mind for a few reasons. One, it's broad enough to cover whatever format of creative work that I'm doing and that I'm working in. And also, it felt aligned not only with where I was and am on my spiritual path, using the word spiritual kind of very loosely here, but it also felt aligned with the nature of my art and the content that I produce. Somewhat recently, I was confronted with the fact that I do like to create in a variety of mediums: audio, video, music, ASMR, live events, visual art. And I had to ask myself, what is it that unifies those disparate elements and forms of art? What is my artistic identity, and what is my top level goal in my work? And the answer kind of to all of those, but specifically to the last question, is that my goal is to nurture well-being through creative expression. My intention is for my art to have a positive impact on people, specifically in the areas of mental health, mindfulness, self-expression, rest and sleep, anything that kind of falls under that umbrella of well-being. Is what I intend to work with through my art in all of its forms. So coming to this answer has been really helpful, actually, because on one hand, it opens up creative possibilities by being a little more broad and open in terms of what I can do, while at the same time giving it a container and a unifying principle to everything that I do. So what does any of that have to do with anything? Well, it means that I'm going to be experimenting a bit more with what I produce and what I share in these different realms. Some of it will be public, Some of it will be exclusive to those in the Quiet Mind membership. As is kind of usual, people in the membership will can expect to see things early and then maybe get feedback on them. And then those things will become public. As well as with videos I've done in the past, the membership can expect additional versions, alternate versions, extended versions of the things that I post publicly. And that the Quiet Mind membership it has been and still is the best way to experience the work that I do and to support the work that I do, whether that's live streams, videos, music, ASMR, visual art, writing, the whole rainbow of offerings there. So finally, that brings me to this channel and my video production. In the interest of exploring new ideas, although ideas coming from the same core principle, the same tone as what I typically post, the content on this channel will likely become a little more varied going forward. It's always going to be coming from the same place with a similar quality, but I may, for instance, post more just music recordings, which is something I've done in the past. That's not that unusual. This channel has tended to be primarily ASMR content, but potentially more music recordings. I will post some of my generative art here. I may post more meditations here that are kind of in line with what I'm doing in my public performances. I may post more long-form discussion videos like this, perhaps. I don't know about that last one. Maybe. I don't know. And of course, I will still post ASMR content. This is admittedly the part that feels a bit early to discuss, because I'm not, unfortunately, going to promise you that I'll have a new video coming out every week going forward. I do believe you can expect to start seeing something every month, maybe a couple of things every month right now. But I want to emphasize that I am still in the mode of figuring things out. What does it look like to do this work that I'm doing right now? And as I said, I have a couple of projects that I'm kind of deep into, and with the limited time that I have right now, and energy and sanity, that I'm trying to work on those and get those. Those are my immediate focus. So I'm not yet going back to a consistent video production schedule, or frankly even a consistent live stream schedule for those Twitch viewers who are hoping for a more consistent schedule. I don't quite have that right now, not quite yet. It is my intention to get back there and be in more of a routine in those areas, but I don't want to lead you on to think like, oh, everything's changing now and he's going to be back twice a week on live streaming and a video every month, or even to think that that's right around the corner, because I'm still figuring that out and I'm still very sleep deprived. So that is where I am and where I've been, and an idea of where I'm going. And I just want to say thank you all for your support. If you were even curious enough to click this video, and my God, if you actually listened to the entire thing, thank you. Thank you. It means a lot knowing that people care about what I create, and knowing that in some way I can be helpful. So again, thank you. And also, I know that I've had a lot of new viewers come in since I've posted last, and I've seen your comments and your very kind things. So I want to just say welcome, thank you for joining. There are plenty of old videos that you can go back and explore, and then hopefully new ones coming soonish that you will enjoy. But thank you for joining. I will post major updates here on YouTube, but the best way to stay up to date on what I'm doing is my newsletter, which you can join at thequietmind.io. And there's a newsletter button, or actually I think it might pop up and ask you to sign up. As well as in the Discord server. I do post updates every week there, just kind of what I'm doing in the week ahead. I'll leave a link in the description for both of those, and you can come say hello. Alright, that's it. That's all I got. Thank you for being you. Please take care of yourselves and each other. Share your creativity and your uniqueness with the world. And until next time, bye for now.